Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Techify with Adil. So in this video we will be discussing about Azure Storage Redundancy. So we have been always when we discuss on the storage topic, we have been seeing high availability. So this Azure Storage Redundancy is the important factor in deciding the availability with lower cost. So let us see the topic on Azure Redundancy here. So Azure Storage always stores multiple copies of your data so that it's protected from planned and unplanned events such as transient hardware failure, network or power outages, and natural disasters. So redundancy ensures that your storage account meets its availability and durability targets even in the face of failures. So when deciding which redundancy option is best for your scenario, consider the trade-offs between lower cost and higher availability. So the factors that help determine which redundancy option you should choose include how your data is replicated in the primary region. This is one of the important factors. The next factor is whether your data is replicated to a secondary region, that is geographically distant to the primary region to protect against regional disaster. Whether your application requires read access to the replicated data in the secondary region if the primary region becomes unavailable. So these are the important factors to take note when we are deciding on the redundancy option. Okay, so the redundancy in the primary region. So data in the Azure Storage account is always replicated 3 times in the primary region. So Azure Storage offers 2 options for how your data is replicated in the primary region. The first is local redundant storage LRS, and the second is ZRS, zone redundant storage. So we have a primary region, the data center. So the 2 options will be, so locally redundant storage replicates your data 3 times within a single data center in the primary region. LRS provides at least 11 nines of durability, that is 99.999, like 11 nines percentage of durability of objects over a given year. So LRS is the lowest cost redundancy option and offers the least durability compared to other options. So this 99.119 itself is going to be your least durability compared to other options. So that durable is Azure Storage accounts. LRS protects your data against server rack and drive failures. So however, if a disaster such as fire and flooding occurs within a data center, all the replicas of the storage account using LRS may be lost or unrecoverable. So to mitigate this, Microsoft recommends using Zone-Redundant Storage or Geo-Redundant Storage or Geo-Zone-Redundant Storage. So here zone redundant storage. So in the zone redundant storage we already know. So the zone is we have multiple data centers in a single region, so it's called as a zone. So for availability, zone enabled regions, zone redundant storage replicates your Azure storage data synchronously across 3 availability zones in the primary region. So ZRS offers 12 nines, 99.129% over a given year. So with ZRS, your data is still accessible for both read and write operations even if a zone becomes unavailable. If your availability zone 1 is unavailable, like the entire data center is down with some flood or some natural disaster, like your entire data center is down, then still you can access your data, read and write through other availability zones, either zone 2 or zone 3. So no remounting of Azure files shared from the connected clients is required. If a zone becomes unavailable, Azure undertakes networking updates such as DNS repointing. These updates may affect your application if you access data before the updates have completed. So Microsoft recommends using ZRS in the primary region for scenarios that require high availability. So ZRS is also recommended for restricting replication of data within a country or region to meet data governance requirements. So here you're going to have multiple copy of data in different data centers but within a region. So it's not going outside the country. Like, it also helps with data governance requirements and also with the high availability scenarios as well. So next is redundancy in secondary region. So far we discussed this redundancy in the primary region itself. So this is the redundancy in secondary region. So for applications requiring high durability, you can choose to additionally copy the data in your storage account to a secondary region that is hundreds of miles away from the primary region. So if the data in your storage account is copied to a secondary region, then your data is durable even in the event of a catastrophic failure that prevents the data in a primary region from being recovered. When you create a storage account, you select the primary region for an account. The paired secondary region is based on Azure region pairs and can't be changed. So based on your primary region, there is a predefined paired Azure region. So based on that, the secondary region will be chosen. So Azure Storage offers two options for copying your data to a secondary region. So one is GRS, Geo-Redundant Storage. The other one is Geo-Zone-Redundant Storage. So GRS is like running the LRS in two regions, and GZRS is like running ZRS in primary region and LRS in the secondary region. So by default, the data in the secondary region isn't available for read or write access unless there's a failover to the secondary region. So if the primary region becomes unavailable, you can choose to failover to the secondary region. After the failover has completed, the secondary region becomes primary region and you can again read and write data. So it will be like the secondary region will be like a standby region. It will not be an active, so both you can access to both the regions. So only when your primary region becomes unavailable, then the secondary region becomes the primary, so then you can read and write in the secondary region. Next will be Geo-Redundant Storage, GRS. So this GRS copies your data synchronously 3 times within a single physical location in the primary region using LRS. It then copies your data synchronously to a single physical location in the secondary region using LRS. GRS offer durability of Azure Storage data objects of at least 16 nines over a given year. So this is like from the image we can explain. We have a primary region, we have a data here. So the data will have a 3 local copy, meaning it will have a copy within a single physical location in the primary region, and that will be copied over to a secondary region. So it will have totally like 6 copies of your data, 3 in the primary and 3 in the secondary region. So it has a high durability. Then Geo-Zone-Redundant Storage. So GZRS combines the high availability provided by redundancy across availability zones with protection from regional outages provided by geo-replication. So data in the GZRS storage account is copied across 3 availability zones in the primary region similar to ZRS, and is also replicated to a secondary geographic region using LRS for protection from regional disasters. So you have your data copy here. So data copy is distributed to 3 availability zones, meaning 3 data centers. So even a data center is down, you will be still able to access the data. And there is also a copy of the data into a second region. There's a 3 copy of data into a second region as LRS. So even if all the data center is down, still you can get data from your second region. And even in the second region, if there is a network server rack failure or network to the rack has failed, then you can still access your data. So it's like a combination of zone redundant storage and LRS together in 2 different regions. So read access to data in the secondary region. So geo-redundant storage replicates your data to another physical location in the secondary region to protect against regional outages. However, the data is available to be read only if the customer or Microsoft initiates a failover from primary to secondary region. As mentioned before, the secondary region will be like a standby region only. It will not be active for you to read or write the data. However, if you enable read access to a secondary region, your data is always available even when the primary region is running optimally. So for read access to the secondary region, enable read access geo-redundant storage or read access Geo-Zone-Redundant Storage. So if you still require your secondary secondary region data to be having read access only, still you cannot have write access in both the regions. You can still have only read access. Then you should manually it should be enabled by for read to having read access. You should have either RA-GRS, that is read access geo-redundant storage, or RA read access Geo-Zone-Redundant Storage. So you should have either of this storage type.